This Census-Taker by China Miéville. Read for you by Matthew Frow. Like all these long, low, squat houses, it had been built not for, but against. They were built against the forest, against the sea, against the elements, against the world. They had roof beams and doors and hatred, as though in this part of the world an architect always included hatred among his tools, and said to his apprentice, "Mind you've brought along enough hatred today." Jane Gaskell, Some Summer Lands. A boy ran down a hill path screaming. The boy was I. He held his hands up and out in front of him, as if he'd dipped them in paint and was coming to make a picture, to press them down to paper. But all there was on him was dirt. There was no blood on his palms. He was 9 years old, I think, and this was the fastest he'd ever run. And he stumbled and careered, and it seemed many times as if he would fall into the rocks and gorse that surrounded the footpath. But I kept my feet and descended into the shadow of my hill. The air felt wet, but no rain had fallen. I sent up cold dust behind me and little animals scuttling ahead. People in the town saw that cloud long before I arrived, Sama would later tell me. When she was sure that it wasn't just weather, she was one of those who came to wait by the pump beyond the bridge to the west where there were the last buildings, to watch whatever was coming. After that day, when I saw her when she could, Sama would tell me stories, including the story of when I came down the hill. "I knew it was you," she'd say. "That dirt devil on its way down. It's the boy," I said. "A lot of us did. You must have run a mile while I watched you. You ran, and you didn't slow once. You came right past the nails." The nails, my name that she had adopted for a copse of dead white bushes. "Right by every split in the hill, and you must have heard all the devils down there howling at you." When she talked like this, I'd stare at her urgently, without speaking. "We heard you coming, making noises like a hurt gull or something, and I said, 'It is, it's the boy.'" In I'd come. I turned with the path away from where the slope grew drier and stonier and inclined precipitously, and I ran for where the crowd was waiting. I could see down spaces between those outmost walls to the town's built-up bridge. I was weeping so hard I retched, came loud and filthy past the wire-spinning mill and the glassworks, past barns and stores, and the ground before them strewn with old straw and the shards of things that had been broken within, toward the cobbles and concrete in view of that bridge itself, where the townspeople waited. There were children among them. Those with adults were held back by them. I made noises as if I were a whooping baby. I struggled for air. I was the only one moving while all there stared at my little figure raising dirt, until someone, I don't know who, started forward to meet me, and they brought others after them in shame, Sama among them. They ran to me with their own arms out like mine to take me. "Look!" I heard a man say. "God, look at him!" I kept up the hands I thought were bloody for them to see. I shouted, "My mother killed my father!" I was an uphiller. Above my house was a steepening distance of grass and loose earth, then slabs of flint in a rough ziggurat, and then, at last, out of sight, the peak. No path went there. We lived as high on the hill as anyone. Our house was at the same level of the slope as those of a few weather watchers and hermits and witches you could call our neighbours, though you'd have to walk a while from where we lived to see any of their places, and we never visited them, nor they us. My house had 3 stories that grew less and less finished as they rose, as if the builders had lost spirit the further they
Sample complete. Ready to continue?